Welcome to the Inside Out Money Podcast.
Can't even recognize this place. Too many pieces of our past mistakes.
Hi, I'm Maggie, and I believe real change starts from the inside out. So let's work together to improve our money and our lives from the inside out. We will explore all things money and our relationship with it. Join me each week with a rotating set of co-hosts, friends, and interviews. Let's jump in.
It's time, we going round and round and round and round and round.
Hi, everyone.
Hello again.
Hi.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. This is our 100th episode of the Inside Out Money Podcast.
What?
Go back to the
Whoa.
woes, Liz.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a big milestone.
So, in case you're like, what's this milestone and where am I? Welcome to the 100th episode of the Inside Out Money Podcast. This is a personal finance podcast focused on redefining wealth from the inside out. Every week, I speak with a rotating set of co-hosts about a different financial topic to help you improve your financial mindset and tactics. But today we have all the co-hosts, which only happens like a couple times a year when we do expense reviews or, special occasions. And since this is a special occasion, we've got everybody here.
All right. Great.
Hey,
Yay.
everyone.
Hey.
And everyone is Greg, my husband, Liz, aka Liz Gets
Not your
Loaded, Erica, not my husband, my friend, Erica, my friend from high school, Andrew, my friend from work.
Work
I was
buddy.
trying to think. I was going to give everyone
I'm
a
not
list.
your
My friend
friend.
from the internet, but real life too. Erica's my friend from high school and real life. Andrew's my friend from work and real life. That's how That's how everybody met, though.
Yeah.
And Greg and I met on the internet, just like Liz.
Greg is
you know?
your friend from
Okay.
your house.
He is. Yes. Okay, so this is our 100th episode. Our first episode. Can anyone bring up the date? Anyone know the
March.
exact date?
Yeah.
7th?
14th.
It's May.
May.
I'm
Erica.
sorry.
Well, yeah. If
You read the notes and you got it wrong, Erica. I saw you cheating. I feel like Liz was going off memory. Erica was cheating but missed the month.
May 14th.
I didn't want to be too obvious with my cheating.
It was May 14th.
Excuse me. I think it was
Okay.
March 14th, 2023. Just so you know how I remember this.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Well, around March is probably when I talked about Friends on Fire ending and when, we were kind of getting this crew together. So, okay. What's crazy is I like to do like, how many days has it been since? Like I always like to do how many days has it been since I retired? It has been 666 days since our first episode from when this will air. And I was like, ooh, that feels like a bad, like that's not
But
a
that
good
means
number.
today is only 664 days since the first episode, right?
Right.
So I think we're
yes. Okay.
And that's always been considered a lucky number.
664.
Yeah, completely.
Exactly. Okay. So anyways, the point is it's a milestone. Never missed a week. We've had 100 episodes on this podcast and we've had 200 episodes. Well, I've had 200 episodes on my previous podcast called Friends on Fire. So now we're at this like fun 300 number for me at least. And Liz and Erica both came on Friends on Fire. Andrew was a big part of Friends on Fire because he was always sending me messages and sent me an inspirational book. Anyways, I feel like you guys have been a part of this journey from well before Inside Out Money. And yeah, we have not missed a week, which is, for me, it is a very important milestone and it feels good, especially since I don't work anymore. And so I have fewer forced milestones in my life.
Do you think you'll ever miss a Monday? Like, do you think you'll make a podcast every week until you leave this earth?
I don't know. That's a good question. I do know there's been times, and you know this too, Liz, because you've been involved, where like something's happening and I'm like waited till the last minute and then I'm having like an audio issue on a Sunday. And Liz has very kindly been like, you could just like not publish an episode this week or play an old one or do lots of things. And I'm like, no, that is not an option.
Yeah.
I shall suffer as much as I need to on this Sunday to make this happen. So yeah, I don't know about till I die, but it'll.
For the foreseeable future, you don't plan to miss a week.
I don't plan to, no. And this podcast has 0 ads by design. We're not trying to sell you things you don't need. And for me personally, this is my way of just giving back to the world and sharing some financial knowledge. And I think it's the same for many of you, or you're just giving back to me and doing me a favor. But either one, I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also just very fun to do. Like, this doesn't feel like charity work. I'm not like, oh, I'm like slaving away over here.
Yeah.
It's fun. So, yeah.
Oh, thanks. You didn't claim it on your taxes as time you gave to charity this year.
Taxes
I
aren't a
don't think
thing
you can
this
do
year.
that anyways.
Well, I don't think there'll be any IRS agents
Yeah.
left in the next month or so. So at some
geez,
point you
Greg.
can. Sorry.
Why you got to bring
Yeah,
politics
never
into
mind.
the
So
100th
just like do what you
episode?
want, kids.
Yeah, whatever you want. Okay, well, the first thing I want to say is thank you to all of you. So thank you, Greg. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Andrew, in no particular order. But thank you because I really appreciate you guys making time in your life for this. It is just something like you guys are all busy. You've got jobs, kids, different commitments, and I appreciate you making time for it.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Thank you. Agreed, Maggie. You put a lot of effort into this, and so it's for me. It's like feels special to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
thanks.
think
I feel like, Maggie, you and I used to talk maybe like once every 6 months, and now we get to talk every month.
Yeah, I like it. It is a good. Erica and I have discussed that too. It's like a good excuse to like have a better cadence of actually catching up with people I enjoy talking to. So I love it, especially given I am early retired, and I don't see. It's harder to like. I have to put more effort into keeping up with people because I don't just see people at work every
you
day.
have to socialize yourself.
I do.
Well, it's cool seeing it, because I've gotten to see it from the kind of ideation phase when we were sitting in this office and you were trying to figure out what you were going to do next. It is really cool to see it go from kind of this idea to something that's 100 episodes in and you've pulled great people around you, and it's really exciting, and congratulations. It's cool to see it,
Well, we also got to do a really fun meetup in Atlanta as well a few weeks ago.
So fun.
Yeah, Liz came to Atlanta.
Got to meet Liz. It's great.
I was sad to have missed that.
Erica.
Yeah,
I was gonna say we didn't have too much fun without you, but
It's
yeah,
okay if
Liz
you
was coming to Atlanta.
did, but no, it was. I love that y'all were together. I was sad to have missed
It
you.
wasn't the same without you. And it was still it's interesting. I mean, the thing about podcasting is sometimes you just feel like you're sitting in your house talking to yourself, or that we're just talking to each other. And it's really fun and wild to have humans show up and say, actually, I hang out with you every week.
Yeah. Well, and like complete strangers, they say, "Look, I feel like I really know a lot about you." Well, I guess you do, because you've heard us talk for. If we've done 100 episodes, we've all averaged probably about 20 episodes, right? 15, 20 episodes, and that's 15 to 20 hours worth of talking about your life, and so yeah, people get to know you through this.
Yeah, agreed. I really enjoyed meeting everyone who came out to the meetup in Atlanta. So thank you to everyone who came out. And I agree, it's very like surreal to meet people and be like, oh wait, there's like real people that listen to this podcast and that you can, give a hug to. I was giving out free hugs and I was hugging people that I probably should ask first, but it was just really great to meet everyone.
What do you normally charge for hugs?
She charges me a lot.
You get free hugs too.
Well, she charges you because you don't.
Maggie, I feel like you could set up a little stand on the sidewalk, free hugs, and like you'd be all over that for a day.
Greg, she charges you for hugs because she only gives them free to listeners, and you don't actually listen to the podcast.
Oh,
Burn. Sick burn,
That's
Liz. That's true.
Very good
Sick,
and very
but
true.
True burn. Well, on the episode that's next week, you'll get to hear a funny, well, I'm not even going to tell you, something funny that happens with Erica and I that's related to people not listening to the podcast. Okay. On that note, though, we have an announcement that we want to make today. It's kind of like unrelated to the 100th episode, but it's just like timed around this. And it's an announcement about the podcast. It's sort of sad and happy thing for me personally, but we're not going to share it till the end of the podcast.
Oh,
What could it be?
Rude.
Brutal.
I know. It took me 100 podcasts to learn that people would always be like, you should tease something at the beginning so that people listen through to the end. And I was like, feels like something
Everyone's
I have to put
hitting the
some thought
fast
into.
forward button
I
right
know.
now.
Yeah, I know.
Skip.
Go to the transcript. Scroll.
Don't miss that. It's not really going to make sense unless you listen to the
Mhm.
entire
That's
All right.
true.
episode. Okay. So we're going to keep this short and sweet, but we're just going to kind of go through some reflections from the last 100 episodes. This could be like financial and or life lessons, but we're going to go through each of us and just share what we feel like we have learned throughout doing this and co-hosting for the last 100 episodes. Okay, let's start with Andrew.
All right. So a couple things I learned. First, that home improvement projects are really expensive. Second, I had a big hole in my backyard that needed to be taken care of. Then second, I definitely need to loosen up a little. And my fellow co-hosts are trying to hold me accountable to that. I'm pleased to report that I bought a bunch of bikes last week. So dropped some serious cash on some new bikes, which is exciting. So I feel like I'm making progress on that front, at least in the bike range.
What about Crystal? What's her coffee situation?
I think she's only up to like $8.23 so far year to date, but
That was Tuesday
I
for
did
me.
see, I think there was one Dunkin' Donuts transaction last month. So if she keeps that up, she may get over $100 for the year.
Okay, well, I want to see her loosen up a little bit too. So, okay.
And the last thing, and this was something that funny came up last night, was I was making myself a bowl of pasta and I pulled out the Rouse, I think is how you pronounce it, homemade. Every time I pull that jar out of the fridge now, I think of Liz because Liz recommended it to me and I was just laughing to myself. So I was like, oh, this is Liz. I call it like Liz's sauce now.
And that was a big splurge for you, right?
Exactly.
That was
I'm
like-
paying $12 for pasta sauce now because of Liz. So she is helping me to loosen up a little.
What's funny is you're super loose with the bread. You have like sourdough bread. Like you use the like nice King Arthur bread flour, and I use the like Sam's brand. And I just recently upgraded. It's like twice the cost to use King Arthur.
Yeah, I use the King Arthur in a pinch. Typically, I buy the 50-pound bag at Restaurant Depot of, I forget what brand it is. But
Okay, so you're not loosening up in the bread.
No.
Never mind.
not as much on the bread, but
Have you
I
done
misunderstood. Okay.
a cost analysis on what each loaf of bread costs making it from scratch?
yes, it's like 15 cents.
Wow.
Not if you use King Arthur flour.
No. I mean, the 50-pound bags I buy from the Restaurant Depot are like $23. Like, it's insane.
Okay, but even if you
Okay,
use
but do a taste test
Mm.
between King Arthur and the 50-pound restaurant
Yeah,
brand
like-
flour.
The 50-pound bag, it's the Kyrol. It's called Kyrol. It's made by Arthur Daniels. Like, it's what the
King Arthur Daniels?
bakeries use. And so it's really good stuff.
Okay.
Maggie's like,
Okay. I'm gonna move us on. I'm gonna, you guys just talk so much, give so much context.
Oh, us. It's us. We're the hey, co-hosts. We're the problem. Got
That's
it.
probably
Okay,
what
we got the
I'm
message.
sure I've learned.
We got the
does
message on
Bloodcast
that.
give you a report on like who spoke the most?
No, but I'll tell you something.
Because
when
Zoom
it's my
does
turn.
that now, and I think it's like a
shaming
no.
device?
I think it's the opposite. I think it's so you can or creating space for them, right? Like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
All right, that's it for
Well, I
me.
want to create space for you guys. Who wants to go next?
I can go next. So one thing I've learned for myself is to invest more in myself. And I think I said this in one of our past episodes, but I've thought about it more where like things that I didn't want to spend money on because they might be a little pricey, but are helpful. So like, for example, Liz helped talk me into getting an Aura ring, which is something I wanted for a while, but it felt like a splurge. But it's been really helpful for my health and tracking my sleep and stress and like a lot of things that I've been wanting to monitor more closely. And then because I spent money on that, I have like put out of my head buying just like less impulse buys or things that like used to kind of be that dopamine hit. And so I've just shifted my mindset around like not just material things, but even like, in our end of year episode, I talked about the nervous system mastery course, and that felt too expensive at the time, but it was one of the best investments I've ever made in myself. And in doing that and investing in like my own mental health, like self-regulation, it's just taken away the things that external things kind of feed to you. And so I've just learned more that you spend money on the things that matter, like your own health, your mental health, your family, and then the rest of the stuff just kind of falls in place or falls away completely. And then the other part is, and I'm kind of stealing.
That's awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Before you get to the next part, that's really nice.
Yeah, thanks. And then the monarch part, like finally finding a system that works for me to track my expenses, because like everything in life, it's out of sight, out of mind. And it was easy for me to be like, I don't know where it is. And having it there, checking regularly, the accountability there, it's been really helpful for me.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. That's so cool. I'll go. Okay. Maggie, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if this thought has ever crossed your mind, but as it turns out, having conversations with friends about money is really good for you.
It's a fresh thought for sure.
It's a fresh thought. But I was thinking as I was looking around, I feel like I usually only record with Maggie unless we're doing the group episodes, but I'm like Greg, I listen to every episode. I'm sorry. I'm Greg. I love you so much. I'm just giving you a hard time. But I feel like I get something, and listeners have told us that they get something out of the different group of co-hosts. And I feel like I do too. Like Andrew is so analytical and math oriented, and we've had offline discussions where we both were like, hey, here's my whole net worth and my lifetime earnings, and here's what I'm doing. And I love it. Like, I feel like I've learned from Erica's perspective. Sometimes I'm so in the personal finance space that I forget that not everything that seems kind of very like obvious and ingrained in me is the same for everyone else. Like, I'm like, what do you mean you don't track every dollar you spend and you have records going back 20 years? And that it's good. I think it makes my brain work in a little bit different way when I talk to someone who has a different perspective like that. And Greg, of course, brings just always the wisdom. I think the rest of us start chattering, and then Greg comes in with just some one-liner that's like, it sounds like we all are just prioritizing our values and intentions. And we're all like, yeah.
Exactly.
And then Maggie, I think I feel more confident in some of my financial decisions, having had to like debate them with you in front of thousands of people. Like, if I'm going to buy pre-cut apples and tell the world that that I buy pre-cut apples, I got to feel real confident in why I'm making that decision. So
I like it.
That's good.
Gregory?
Well, I think for me, one thing that's kind of resonated with me, and when we've been doing these group episodes and the episodes where we track our expenses, is really kind of the idea of an intentional spending. And I think that's not that that's a new concept necessarily to me, but seeing how everyone does that in their own ways. And Erica, what you were just talking about, like intentionally investing in yourself. And Liz, I think it was kind of mind blowing to me. And this is so small, but like when you said, oh, I track coffee places differently because I want to invest in some, in local coffee shops in my area. And it was like, I've always thought of spending as like you spend less, but hearing you say, well, I'm going to set a budget so that I do, spend that money because that's important to me. And that was just really cool. And I think it's really speaks to what we're doing in this space is not just about cutting every penny we can. It's really spending our money wisely and in ways that make our life better, and hopefully spending less overall, but spending it where it has the biggest impact on ourselves or our community. And so I've just taken that away, I think, from this podcast. It's been kind of eye-opening to see how each of us go about doing that.
Okay. For me, I think I have just, learned and seen that I have people in my life that will show up for me. And I think that's amazing on many levels, and something that I appreciate more and more as I get older. And by that, I mean you guys, right? Like, you guys are busy. And I mean, there's weeks that there's just a lot going on, and you'll carve out. And, first off, I'll come in at like the last minute and be like, oh, whoops, Andrew, you're up next. And, you squeeze me in when it, you got just a lot of other things that are arguably are more important / just as important. And I just appreciate you guys like showing up when you need to and just being willing to help. And it's been lovely. And I second everything that many of you already said that I won't repeat. But it's just been great. And having a weekly commitment for me is a really good thing. So, I mean, we've been early retired, Greg and I, now for over 1,000 days, almost 3 years. And the lack of structure at times is a big adjustment. And so there's a lot of times where like I actually look at this podcast as like the one thing that anchors me. It's the one thing I actually have to get out every week. And that's why I sort of put a lot of unnecessary pressure on myself. You know, it's like lowercase stress, because sometimes I'm just, procrastinated all the things I used to do at work, right? There's nobody making me do this. So I have to, be accountable to myself. Just the weekly commitment has been like a good thing for me, and the structure that is helpful during a time when I lost all the other structure I had, right? Purposefully, but either way, I lost it.
Well, you do a really good job at it. I think you do. I mean, you do all, like, most of the work. Like, we totally show up and chat and laugh, and you do all the editing and the planning and the spreadsheets and the documents and the posting. And it's really, I mean, I think it's just, we get to do the fun part and just show up and hang out with you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for showing up.
Yeah, you make it easy for us to be here. I mean, I'll speak for everyone else because I'm gonna, but I think that, it's you make it easy for us.
Yeah,
thanks.
so nice.
That's awesome.
Best manager I've ever had working as a podcast co-host.
No, I thank you guys. I appreciate you all saying that. Okay, one more thing we're going to do before we recap some like Inside Out Money stats and top episodes, and then share our big announcement that's maybe not like massive, but I think it's kind of big. It's
pretty big.
I think it was big. When I found out about the news, I was like, what? I mean, I had a lot of responses, didn't I, Greg? Like, don't you think I had some big responses? I compared it to like, well, I'm not going to say anyways. Greg's at a loss for words. He's like, you can't see him, but he's sitting here with his mouth open. I did have some big responses, didn't I?
I mean, it sort of, but then you also said, oh, well, I kind of expected that.
I wasn't surprised. Okay, well, let's keep going. Okay, there's too much teasing. Okay, one more question I have. I want you guys to just share over the last 100 episodes, what's some like milestones and cool things that have happened in your life in the last 666 days?
It's only 664 today, and we were planning before that, so we're probably already at like.
I know, you're right. Yeah, we started recording.
Yeah,
well
and like
that. You're right.
Started the group chat to like get things going.
Yeah, it's just 666 since the first episode went live. If you whisper it doesn't count.
I don't even know,
right, Liz.
Is this like a Bloody Mary thing
that
we should be aware of?
No.
Now you started talking. We got off topic.
And then Liz started laughing at me. And then I was like, oh, well, okay.
Rein it in, guys.
Rein it in. Greg's keeping
Okay.
everyone on track. Yeah, all right, let's keep going.
What were you going to say?
I was
Liz,
just saying how we got off track counting the days, and then you started whispering 666, so.
Which I probably shouldn't do. Okay. Who wants to start on cool big milestones that have happened over the last 100 episodes
on this
for
one.
you?
So,
Okay.
100 episodes, it's almost 2 years, right? And it feels like a lot has happened in the last 2 years. Financially, in my household of just two adults, we hit a net worth where it's kind of a milestone, I guess, where we could retire if we wanted to, but we would need to live a much more modest life than we do now. So I don't want to. Like, we're above lean fire, which is kind of what people call when they have enough to retire and live a very modest lifestyle, but we're not quite to where I'd want to be for both of us to retire, and especially maybe not after this week in the market. But
What, are we allowed to call that chubby fire, or is that not a thing?
No, it's lean fire, regular fire, chubby fire, fat fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those are the
okay.
four.
I thought I just made up chubby
Can we-
fire.
No.
Sorry.
Have you guys already done an episode on that? Did I miss it?
No,
If
we should.
not, let's do
You and I
one.
should totally do that.
On the types of fire.
Yeah.
Types of fire.
I thought you meant on chubby fire.
Well, there's
specifically.
coast fire is kind of in the middle there
Yeah.
too.
But I would like to know what the difference those are, because I'm like, how do you know what is enough money to retire? And I know
Okay,
you
we
guys
definitely
know
have
the
an
answer
episode
to
on
that,
that.
but you guys forget that there are people
Maggie,
like me
let's
who
send
don't.
Erica the link on how do you
I
know
know.
whether you have enough money to retire episode.
Oh, did y'all already
Listen,
talk about that?
Andrew.
Oh, see, look, I'm just like bringing this up. Like, I'm just plugging the podcast. That's what I'm here. 4.
Listen, Andrew, Erica and I recorded a whole podcast, and it's next week's podcast. So it'll be episode 101. And 5 times during the podcast, Erica's like, we should do a topic on this. And I was like, we have, Erica. Here's the episode. I was like, are you just teeing them up and letting me hit them?
Nice.
There was a couple that it was more of like a, we hadn't done a dedicated episode, but we've specifically done.
Maggie, maybe you and I should just do an episode on Erica's questions.
We should.
Well, that's why I said
because
I should come on with you guys and like ask the dumb questions in real life.
There we
They're not dumb
just
questions,
you just it's just Erica's questions. Erica's
That would be fun.
Yeah,
I think
it
it
would
is.
be. I just want to clarify though, they're not dumb questions, because back to what Liz said a while ago in this episode, it is just there's like some of us nerd out and like deal with this stuff all day, and you don't. You live your life and like do other stuff. Not that we don't also live our lives, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, this is not my main this is not how I get my jollies. I mean, being with you all does, but not like
this isn't like your passion for the Atlanta Braves.
Exactly.
I get it,
Yeah. 2
Okay,
weeks. 2
let's
weeks.
keep
Opening
moving.
day, y'all.
Liz, did you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay, who wants to go next?
I will go next because this is the opposite of Liz. So in the 2 years since this podcast started, so when this first started, I had just started a new job. Effective today, I am now laid off. So
I'm sorry, Erica.
it's all right.
I'm really sorry.
Thank you.
I wasn't sure if you would want to talk about it on
I
this
think it's
episode.
an important thing to talk about because probably a lot of people are going through this at this time. And that's why in one of the episodes, like one of the worst things that happened last year was Trump being elected. And it's not a political statement. It's a reality that a lot of people's jobs have shifted as a result of that. And that was mine and a lot of my coworkers. And so I've had a lot of sadness, anger. Today I'm like, okay, I recently learned the term life quake. It just shakes things up. It's not like life shattering. Yeah. And so I'm working through it. The landlord and I have had some good discussions about our finances as a result. But it was, it's really sad. Hence the wine while we're drinking the podcast.
I was wondering whether that was water or lemon juice or
no, it's white. It's
wine.
A nice white wine.
Yeah.
Liz, I don't know if you drink whites. But
I do. I would love that recommendation.
That's a good one.
Having worked in tech for a long time, layoffs have touched my family and touched my job a lot of times. So you got to have a cold bottle in the fridge at all times, just in case.
Yeah. This was my first experience with it. So it was like really surreal. It was interesting,
and just in case the listeners missed it, Erica found out like a few hours ago.
Yeah.
So this is like, I think you knew that something might be coming, but you didn't really know until a few hours.
There was like looming doom and no one knew the extent, the timing. And then it just like was a quick flip. And then today was like, okay, it's here.
I'm really sorry. That is brutal.
Yeah, I'm very sorry.
You're right though. It does feel, I think I was saying this earlier, but it feels like layoffs, they're just never ending. Like I feel like maybe starting 2-3 years ago, it was like, oh, there's a lot of layoffs happening. And I don't know if it's confirmation bias or if it's backed up by data, but it really feels like it's impacting more people that I know than I've seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And not just because of the situation I'm in, but it feels like it's just kind of companies' go-to method instead of like not massively upsizing or upscaling. Yeah, so that's what's happened to me in the last 100 episodes. Just kind of an interesting shift. Like I just started the job and, getting my feet wet. And then here we are 100 episodes later and it's marked very timely by this.
Yeah. And you left a job that, you liked and, you went to this other company. And I think that's, tough too when because then you just, I don't know, it's just a lot of change, in the last couple of years.
Yeah, there's a lot of hindsight, but there's also like a lot of foresight. And these things can kind of sometimes have silver linings that you don't notice until you've moved a little past it. And right now I'm in the sadness, anger, all the processing of emotions / drinking of the white wine phase. But
it seems like I've heard multiple people say it takes about 2 weeks even just for your body to process that level of change. I mean, job loss is, I think I've seen studies, it's as impactful to you physiologically as like losing a loved one or being in a car accident. I mean, it's real trauma. So, but it that kind of like internal shakiness or just nerve rattled feeling.
Yeah. Well, like your nervous system, right?
Well,
like
yeah, you probably know way more about this than I do.
got a big impact on.
Yeah, and like
Wow.
honestly, for the investing in myself thing, there was a spring cohort of the same system I took in the fall, and they offer a massively reduced rate for alumni. And I was like, you know what?
Mhm.
I know there are going to be some changes happening one way or another. Why don't I go ahead and sign up for this? And it starts next week. And I was like, well, that timing couldn't have been more impeccable.
Oh, yeah, that sounds meant to be.
Well, I hope and believe you are right, Erica, that like there will be a silver lining, and you don't know what it is now, but I hope. I also know you, and you are a very strong, confident person, and you'll get through this. But in the moment, it sucks, right?
Yeah.
There's like I'm very sorry. So
Yeah,
there's just-
thanks, Maggie. Yeah, you've
no
been
good
a
way.
good help, like a tremendous help over the last like month around this. So thank you, and thanks y'all. And yeah, maybe have you done an episode on layoffs? I don't know. Just
We actually have. We've done a few. I know. I only know because
Been there, done that. Sorry.
You know, I sent them to you. You asked that like a few weeks ago, or like a month.
oh
or two
yeah,
ago,
you,
and
I
sent
did.
them
I
to
forgot that I even asked you that.
Not only did you ask me, I sent you like 4 episodes we did that were related to that between Friends on Fire and then
I've been
anyways.
busy ruminating. Okay.
I know. There's a lot going on. Okay, who would like to go next?
I'll go next. I'll keep it quick. So I'd say over the last 2 years, we definitely made some good progress on our 5 goals overall. And a good milestone for us as a family was we took 2 trips to Universal this year, which was great. My kids, huge Harry Potter fans. We had a blast doing that. So they're already asking to go back to Universal for spring break. So we'll see about that. And I had a great time riding my bike as well. Put in almost 43,000 miles in the last 2 years. And so, yeah, it was good.
Did you just say 40,000 miles in the last 2 years?
43,000 miles in the last.
That is definitely
Years.
more miles than I put on my
Same,
car
by
in the
like a
last 2
lot.
years.
Yeah. I just crossed 100,000 for the last 4.5 years.
Man,
Wow.
Yeah.
Unreal.
mileage. And you went vegan too.
Ah,
Still
so I
going strong.
completely
Oh, yeah,
forgot
it's
about that.
big
I went plant-based in
Yeah.
February. Yeah, that was a big milestone for me.
I like that you call it plant based. Like that sounds.
Yeah, I'm plant-based. I mean, I still
Yeah.
eat honey, and I'm not true vegan.
I thought he said plant faced. Anyways,
Plant-based.
he only puts plants in his face. Okay, so Gregory, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I think we've had the last couple of years have been, as we've talked about on the podcast, interesting. We're still figuring out early retirement, but I think we've spent a lot of really good quality time as a family. We've done a lot of things with our kids, and they're continuing to grow up. And our oldest is 16, and our other 2 are 13 and in middle school. And it's just constantly changing, but it's it's really good. I feel good that sometimes I have my moments of, what am I doing with my life and what do I want to do more of with my life? But I think at this point, I keep coming back to, this is time with the kids that I will never get again. And I will say I'm physically much more present, but I think more than that, just emotionally more present and have a lot more bandwidth to be there with them. And even though they don't want to be around us as much as they did when they were little, when they do need us, you got to be really dialed in. And it's cool to be able to do that, to have the emotional space to just be able to say, okay, whatever's going on in your life right now, I'm fully there with you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Greg. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
everyone
great.
recognizes that in the moment as they're trying to create that, and it's usually
Yeah.
held up in regret.
Yeah. I totally agree just on the even though they're teenagers and we don't get as much time as we might have gotten with them when they were like toddlers and or elementary and, just wanted to be around us all the time. When we are around the kids, we are much more present. I am much more present and engaged, and it feels good. And I know a lot of that comes from being early retired and, having made what felt like a really tough decision at the time, but feels like a really I was trying to say easy, obvious decision now, but easy, obvious, whatever. I can't get my words
You
out.
said it.
Easy,
It's
obvious.
obvious.
I was trying to combine the words. Anyways, I'll roll on from that since I just started anyways. I mean, obviously 2 years of Inside Out Money feels really good. I realized this on Valentine's Day. Greg and I have now been retired for 1,039 days. And I did the math on Valentine's Day, which was like, a month ago, that 25% of the time I have known you, Greg, we have been retired.
Wow.
And just, yeah, it's crazy because
Yeah,
we've
that
been
is-
together for about 10 years. And
I was like,
Almost-
that can't be right.
yeah, no, I was like, well, tell me. I like went back because I'm bad with when we first met, and I did a lot of work to figure that date out. And
It was
yeah,
May
25%.
May
You're
14th,
making
2023.
days. And so, anyways, yeah, Greg covered all the family stuff, but yeah, those are big things for me. And then also, I had a big goal to get to 200 reviews by this episode. And today, we're 2 days till the deadline. We're at 187 today. But Liz, you did an awesome post this morning on Instagram. And so anyone else on here, like text your mom, text your brother. If you're listening to this episode, it's not too late to get them on the day of. So if you're listening to this episode and you haven't left us a review yet, please go leave us a review because it's just fun to meet a goal that I set.
I
So
think
we'd like to
think
get to that.
we'll hit it or we'll be close. I was like going door to door. I was like hustling today, and you'll appreciate this. I FaceTimed my partner who's out of town right now, and I was like, "Hey, have you left a review for Inside Out Money?" No. And I said, "What do you mean?"
What?
And the response goes,
I would have fixed that
The
when y'all were in
response
Atlanta.
"She knows." She knows how I feel.
Like, I know. Yeah, that's funny. I don't know how you feel because you've never put it in writing on Apple Podcasts.
No,
okay?
and I was like, okay,
Please.
okay, open up your phone. And I was like, oh, I got to download the podcast app. And I was like, okay, like log in with your Apple ID. Oh, like scroll down, tap, and then you're dead.
Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, so go leave us a review if you haven't. And thank you. And we just really appreciate it. Okay, we got a couple things, then we're going to wrap this up. We're going to hit the most popular episodes. So the top 10 Inside Out Money episodes in order. Should we just, here, let's all say them. Let's all do one, okay?
You
I'll
wanna
take
say
the
them all
first one 'cause
together,
that's
all five
mine.
of us?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, number one is how much do you need to retire? Flaws in the 4% rule.
Hey, Erica, did you just ask for that episode?
Yeah,
Yes.
hey, cool, there it is.
Most
Correct.
Yeah, not
podcasts-
only is it
There's-
good,
there it
it's
is.
not-
There's the link.
It's been done and it's our number one. Okay, number 2, episode 11, Die with Zero, 5 takeaways from the Anti-Frugal book.
Episode 7, do $118 yoga pants make you happier? Lifestyle creep and lifestyle satisfaction. My favorite title,
Mm,
by the way, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
well written
let's-
title.
Mhm.
Titles.
Next up, the surprising truth of early retirement. 500 days early retired. Oh my gosh, that was like 500 days
Mhm.
ago. Whoa.
Wow.
Episode 3, how and why to invest in index funds. Ooh, Andrew, that sounds like a you topic.
That's definitely a me topic, and it's a goodie.
Then was episode 25, our biggest financial regrets and what we'd have done differently.
Episode 5, reflections on 1 year of early retirement.
And then episode 6, 10 foundations of personal finance. What's the right word?
Your opus.
Manifesto.
Manifesto. There you go. That was my manifesto that I wrote like 12, 13
I
years
feel like
ago.
that's your like flagship episode. And the next one on the list is mine. The easiest way to be thin and rich.
It's a good one.
And then the next one is mine, episode 21, what is enough?
Okay. Well, I will tell you, just because it's like interesting to hear some of the math on this, those are technically the top 10 episodes, but those 10 episodes make up about 14% of our total downloads. So if you can read into what all that means, it means that even though those are the top 10, the other 90 episodes are still listened to fairly similar amounts. So they're all kind of winners is what I'm saying. Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets a participation award, but these are like a little bit higher. These get like a little bit of a nicer award.
I like it.
Okay. Yeah. So I think all we have now is a big announcement to wrap things up.
Is it that, can we guess? Maggie, is it that you are going to start wearing hard pants?
Maggie's
Hard
I'm going to
pants?
start wearing what?
Never.
What are hard
Oh,
pants?
Pants
Oh,
with
It just
buttons.
means like not soft pants, not sweat.
Hard pants. I've never heard that
You've never heard the term
before. I
hard
like it.
Hard
though.
pants are like a post-COVID
No, not
thing.
heard
You're
that.
like, oh, it's a big deal if you put on hard pants.
Yeah.
Hard pants are what you used to wear to work, Greg.
Yeah.
No, I understand it. I just have
Oh.
not heard it.
Greg,
that
let
way.
us say it slower to you.
Okay, please.
With a zipper.
Please.
Zipper pants.
Okay, got it.
No, I'm not. That would be a huge announcement. I'm not wearing hard pants. Any other guesses? Okay, well, look, this is an emotional topic for me. The other day, I'm just like sitting around minding my own business, and Greg walks up to me and basically breaks up with me.
That's not what happened.
Essentially. I mean, when
Not
he
accurate,
told me this news,
but-
I at one point was like, oh my gosh, this is like when Mike left Friends on Fire. And then I was like, okay,
Oh,
sorry, that's too
because
much.
Maybe
That's
you
too
should
much.
share what the news is just for context
Oh,
for
sorry.
listeners.
What did you do, Greg?
Well, I did say that I've been thinking about it for a while and that I wanted to step back a little on the podcast.
Did you wanted to see other people?
No, I don't want to go to other podcasts.
Are you starting your own podcast?
Just
Greg, you and I can start our own podcast.
What? No, you can't,
That
Andrew.
he still
You
won't
can't
listen
have-
to. Not
Bros
like I
of
can
personal
talk.
finance.
yeah, I like it. I like it. Well, no, I'm going to launch my company called Protein. Protein for men. There's just not enough protein for men. So
He tells me,
no,
Greg tells me these ideas all the time. Okay.
no, I want to still be involved, but I don't want to have a monthly rotation. I still want to come on and talk about family things, and if there's episodes about us as a couple,
Like early
couple
retirement
finances, early retirement updates.
stuff, breakup topics.
For other people, if someone else is breaking up, sure, we can talk about that. But I just don't want to come on once a
Yeah.
month anymore.
I get it. I'm giving you a hard time because I already gave him a hard time in person. And the reason I said in the very beginning this was like happy, sad news is like I'm sad because I like talking to you, Greg, but I get to talk to you a lot. We spend a lot of time together. I am happy because I've known from the near beginning that you kind of do this for me, but it's not like your favorite activity. You're not most comfortable doing it. And like, but you'll do it. And I very clearly notice that you kind of do it for me. And I always joke that he's like the hardest one to like pin down to like actually record, even though I live in the house with him and he's like highly available, but it's still really hard to pin him down. And so I'm like not surprised by it, but I'm happy that you are recognizing what you enjoy and what like fills you up versus what doesn't, and that you're speaking up about it because you should. And again, you like helped me at a time when I really needed help. And I think it's great. Like, I think it's fun. There's plenty of other fish in the sea on this podcast here.
Are you
Pick
going to
up
get on
your
the
slack
apps and like try to find a new
and on the podcast
The
apps, see what I can-
co-host
Yeah.
apps. Yeah.
I'm going to get on the dating apps and be like, no, I don't want to go out, but do you want to come on a podcast?
Just to make my husband jealous.
Yeah. So I am happy for you. I'm just half joking. Like I said earlier, I was telling the co-host, I read a study today that said, actually, I didn't read the study. I read a social post that summarized the study in a tiny picture that said that friendships are the best friendships are people who like give each other a hard time and like kind of rib each other. And, you know, those are like the strongest friendships basically. And somehow research shows that. I don't know how they did that study. But anyways, so I'm just giving you a hard time because I love you and I know I can. And Greg will still be around. He comes on once a month now, but he might come on every few months, you know, a few times a year. You'll join for the expense reviews. Those are fun.
Yeah, I would love to still be
Yeah.
part of that.
We'll have you.
Wait, did you already do a 1,000 Days Retired episode?
Oh, I was gonna, but then I like, you know, I couldn't pin him down to record it, you know?
Let's just wait to 1,500 days or
Okay.
something. I don't know.
It'll be soon. I'll schedule that in advance with you. But I will say I did have a moment after he told me where I was kind of like, no, I get it. It's fine. And then I was like, wait a minute. This is totally like when Mike broke up with Friends on Fire. And I was like, is it me? Like, what's going on? I was like, not my own. He lasted 200 episodes. Like, I was like, you only lasted 100. Like, is there some sort of trend here, you know?
I think
No, not at all. I mean, I admire everything you're doing with the podcast. I like helping with it, and I will continue to help
Yeah.
you in any way I can. It's just not
I know.
I'm just not as passionate about
I
it.
know. It's my thing. It's not your thing. I get it.
Erica and Andrew, it sounds like there's an opportunity for us to negotiate for retention packages here.
Ooh,
Yep.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it's good timing.
So
on
how
my
many
part.
stickers am I going to
Mm-hmm.
need to send? I got some magnets that I just got. If you want me to drop some magnets in the mail. Yeah. So anyways, that was the big announcement. We were like overly teasing it, but I am sad. I mean, luckily you guys the listeners are going to be the saddest people because they get less of Greg. I'm not as sad because I still get just as much time with you and we get a lot of time together.
Yeah.
So
I'm sad because I'm a listener.
you just have to
But
come
Greg
back
will
to
still
it
be around.
Yeah.
in person.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up now.
Okay.
Greg, this is your last episode. It's been real, dude. I'm
Last
just kidding.
episode
I know,
for
we're
a few months.
I'm just messing around.
Yep, mid-year expense to get work on.
Your 2 to 3 month rotation starts tomorrow. So.
Okay.
Okay. So I just want to say thank you to all of you, Greg, you included, for giving me, I'm really just giving him a hard time. I love you. To all of you for all of your time and energy towards this passion project that we all put our time into, because as Liz just joked, like there are no retention bonuses. We don't make any money. There's no ads. And we do this because we enjoy hanging out with each other and we enjoy talking about this topic and helping others. And then I also just want to say thank you to all of our awesome listeners, because you guys listen, you engage with us, you send us funny comments, you send us very nice and kind comments, you leave us reviews, you leave us 200 reviews. That's wishful thinking. You send us emails. I mean, you show up to our meetups. Like we really just, I know this is, I'll say it, but we all mean it. Like we just appreciate you guys so much and it means a lot to us. We would not be doing this to just talk to nobody. So thank you for being somebody.
Thank you.
Mwah. That was to the listeners, not to you. I'm not.
I know. I was like, who are you making?
Like I heard Greg is single.
Greg is available. He's a free agent now. Okay, so thank you guys for listening. We're gonna wrap it up. Maybe for the 100th, after the 100th episode, we'll like switch up the closing a little bit, but not yet.
We'll go like, don't subscribe, don't leave a review.
Yeah,
Don't text
it's
us.
opposite day. But yeah, we appreciate you guys. And we've already talked about reviews, all that stuff. Like, you know, if you want to share this episode with a friend or family member, it's probably not the best episode to share if they've never heard our podcast before. So go share one of the top 10 episodes with a friend or family member. Like share your favorite episode and subscribe to us so that you hear episode 101 and more.
If you have thoughts or questions, we'd love to hear from you, and you can leave a voicemail or text us at 404-981-3370 or hit us up on Instagram.
I was talking to a friend the other day who she said she really liked the Kate episode with Kate, your daughter. And I said, oh, you should tell Maggie, you should text, just text the number. And she goes, what number?
Because no one makes it to the end to hear the number.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a number and you should text us. I do reply to you. If you send me an email, like I've said this before, you can send an email and you can send something through the website. I will not see it as quickly as I will see an Instagram DM or you texting a text message or a voice message to 404-981-3370. And I think that's it. We've done it. 100 episodes, y'all.
Yay.
Congrats.
All right.
Yay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Yay.
Bye.
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 Bye.